Good day, family. This is video number 13 in our series, The Tongue. Up until this point, we've talked about how our words shapes us, our relationships, and our communities. Today, I want us to turn outward again and talk about something Scripture prepares us for, speaking faithfully in a world that may not always be receptive. Scripture never promises that the world will be gentle, but it does command God's people, you and I, to speak with grace. Jesus is always a perfect example. Consider with me that the opposition that Jesus faced. Jesus was honest about the environment his followers would face. In John chapter 15 and verse 18, Jesus says it this way: "Before the world hated you, it hated me first." And that's my paraphrase. He will say, if the world hate you, you should know that it hated me first. And that statement matters because it sets expectations both for you and I. Hostility does not excuse unfaithful speech. It clarifies the need for it. Let's deal with grace under pressure. Speaking with grace in a hostile world does not mean compromising truth. It means delivering truth with humility, patience, and self-control, even when the response is negative. I know that's hard to do. It's hard both for you and for me. Grace is strengthened under strength. Paul instructs believers clearly in Colossians chapter 4 and verse 6, where he says, "Let your speech be always with grace, seasoned with salt, that you may know how you ought to answer every man." Notice the balance here. Grace softens the delivery. Salt preserves the truth. Scripture never asks us to choose between the two, one over the other. That's not what God calls us to. We should appreciate that tone matters, and tone often determines whether truth is heard or rejected. Harsh words may feel powerful in the moment, but they often close doors rather than open them. And grace, on the other hand, keeps the door open even when disagreement remains. We've all heard the phrase, "we can agree to disagree." This is trying to keep the door open. Scripture calls us to speak in a way that reflects Christ, not the culture around us. Peter tells us we ought to offer a gentle defense. Remember what Peter says in 1 Peter 3 and verse 15. He tells you and I as believers to be ready to give an answer for the reason of the hope that lies within us, to do so with meekness and in fear. Now, that word meekness does not mean timidity to where I'm just so shy. It means strength under control, strength that refuses to dominate. Here's a core truth. Our witness is shaped much by how we speak as much as by what we say. Grace does not weaken truth, it carries it faithfully. Let me give you a couple of marks of grace speech. Here are 3 marks Scripture associates with grace. First, patience. Proverbs chapter 14 and verse 29 tells us that one who is slow to anger shows great understanding. Second, humility. Philippians chapter 2 and verse 3 reminds us to value others above ourselves. And third, consistency. Grace is not situational, it is a posture. These qualities protect our witness in difficult spaces. Let us consider witnessing through our words. The world is always watching how believers respond under pressure. Hostility does not remove our responsibility, it refines it. By way of application, let me leave you with a few questions to reflect on. Do my words reflect grace when I feel opposed? Am I more focused on winning arguments or honoring Christ? And do people hear the tone of Jesus in my speech, even when they reject the message? Those questions help align our witness with our calling. In the video to come, the next video, we'll talk about when correction is necessary and how Scripture teaches us to do it in a way that restores rather than wounds. Because grace does not avoid hard conversations, it guides them. What comes to mind as I wrap up this segment, this video, is 2 Timothy 2 and verse 24. And the servant of the Lord must not strive, but be gentle unto all, to all men, apt to teach, patient in meekness, instructing those that oppose themselves. As I'm speaking to you, there's a printer going off behind me. I have to use some constraint in how I respond. Why? Because I'm being formed to fight. And this is what it means to be formed to fight. Thank you so much for spending time with me.